Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Thank God Premanand.
Hari 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 Bol. Hare Krishna. Welcome, dear devotees from all over the world. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you so desire, please empower this meeting so that we can expand book distribution all over the world as one global team and give your mercy to all the fallen souls everywhere. Thank you for considering our request. Hare Krishna. This is an exciting project through which we're finding good association all over the world, uniting with devotees on every continent. The way to unite is to find a common cause that we can all agree upon and work towards it in service. And the more that we do that, the more we find unity and improvement in all the ways that we're conducting ourselves and expanding the Krishna consciousness movement. It's amazing how book distribution is a panacea. And especially during this time when the world seems to be out of control. It's not out of control, but our sense of the world is that it's out of control. But when we have something to do with the solution, then we feel assuaged. Our anxiety is assuaged. So today we have a variety of luminary speakers who will bring us their heart's feeling about the importance of this mission of book distribution, of us all working together. It includes His Holiness Jaipataka Swami, His Holiness Indradyumna Maharaj, and we also have Bhima Prabhu, one of the great leaders of the Indian Yatra, a revolutionary who brought book distribution many years ago, and his enthusiasm has helped to organize the book distribution in India, which has become a world leader. We welcome the devotees from various countries. We know that the Russians are listening in. As I always like to say, we need more Russians in the world. It would be a better place to live. And Ambarishi Maharaj is in parallel with whatever English monologue or dialogue is going on, is translating behind the scenes into Russian so that our Russian brethren can hear what's going on. So I'll just make a few opening comments, and they're based on some of the experiences that we've been having lately. I'll share a few thoughts. And to do that, I'm going to share my screen. Our campaign is a branded campaign. See the Live to Give Global. The idea is that when something's branded, everyone has the same goal, the same ideas, and we're presenting in a unified way. We'll be having a number of Super Sundays where we're inviting the whole world to come in to discuss the importance of going for the goal. And here's a look at the branding. It's called Live to Give. The name is catching on all over the world. It is really the heart of our Sankirtan message. And that is by organizing ourselves in service, giving the best that can be had, which is the transcendental knowledge coming down from Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through our acharyas then we do the best thing that we can for the world. That's what sampradaya means. We have a goal combinedly in the world of distributing 2 million Bhagavad Gitas between now and January 7th. So everyone can work towards this individually and then contribute to the greater whole. And we will smash this goal, I guarantee you. On December 25th, rather, which sometimes we call Gita Jayanti, we're going to be featuring a worldwide celebration of the Bhagavad Gita, which we've branded as World Gita Day to make it more comprehensible by people who don't know what Jayanti means. And we'll have a broadcast across the whole world through Zoom with every continent presenting film, art, lectures, music, glorifying the Bhagavad Gita, culminating in a Mahafire Yajna at Kurukshetra, which is already arranged. The names of people who contribute to the yajna will be offered during the broadcast and also at Kurukshetra. It gives a nice punctuation to the whole event. Although in this age, our main yajna, our only yajna actually, is Harinam Sankirtan. The optic of this is helpful, and we found it very useful in Bhadra to have a fire yajna at the end to frame the whole event. So this will be taking place, and it will help us to remember this divine dialogue which took place between Krishna and his beloved devotee Arjuna. Empowered by Gita rather, 2020 is a global contest. Draw, write, and film. These are initiatives whereby devotees in various communities will, as I said earlier, offer creative ways to glorify the Bhagavad Gita. And the contests will be judged by professional judges, that is, devotees who are expert in these areas of drawing, writing, and filming. So you can lean into this and make your best presentation. It will be not only fun, but it will expand the glories of the Bhagavad Gita all over the world. I just got this photograph this morning. Lest anyone think that the pandemic is a time when we should withdraw and that we can't do much. Actually, we're increasing remarkably, but we're finding by Lord Chaitanya's divine arrangement a new pipeline through which books can move, where we don't have to go out on the streets or door to door. We'll always go on the streets and door to door, and in every other forum, and festivals and so forth, and events, as soon as we're able. But while we're not able to, here's a view from the Ukraine of the thousands and thousands of books that are being packaged and sent out. And the devotees have taken to the telephone and to the internet to distribute books. This phenomenon is being reproduced all over the world. In America, we've increased our distribution of books by using the smartphone. And if anyone forgot the power of smartphone, let me remind you that you can run a country off of one of these things. What to speak of increased book distribution from your own home. It's not any different than going out and meeting people face to face. It's just one level removed using technology. Anyway, this is visual evidence. Niranjana Swami sent this to me this morning and said his yatra is blowing up book distribution, not his words, mine, by the phone and by mailing out books. Here are a few of the ways in which you can be successful individually or in your own yatras or in your communities to take advantage of this current marathon. The first is set a goal. Goals are potent. If you set the goal, then your mind will start moving towards it and the community will get intrigued by it. Prabhupada said, we should always set a fresh challenge so that the community will want to rise up and meet it. You have to set a goal, you have to write it down, otherwise you won't get the energy. Don't be afraid to set a goal. Just do it and live a little in life. Don't sit on the sidelines and feel sorry for the world. Just do something to help. Second, after you set the goal and you feel anxiety that how are we going to reach this goal? Pray hard. That's how Advaita Acharya started the Sankirtan movement. He sat before his Shalagram Shila doing puja and prayed so hard that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was awakened by his cries and said, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. So if you want Lord Chaitanya to come and help you, pray hard. He'll come. He's already there. He wants us to do this work. And if you ask him fervently, he will be there for you. Third is work methodically. Be systematic. Use organizational skills, everything that you already know how to do. If you're running a household or a temple or an ashram of any kind, use whatever kinds of skills you have to be methodical step by step to fulfill the goal and depend on Lord Chaitanya to provide the facility to make it happen. Number 4 is record what worked well. Write down the things that are working and also where there's room for improvement. This list is very important because there's always gaps. And it is in filling these gaps that we make advancement in our yatras and personally as well. Reiterating this point, goals are potent. They have power. No goal, no power. Everyone please say that. No goal, no power. Thank you. If you forget or are timid about setting a goal, no power will come. So ask Lord Chaitanya to come and help you fulfill your goal, but write it down and make it visible. Next is to assume that it can be done. Don't think, oh, I don't think we can do this. How do you know? We're not making this happen. Lord Chaitanya is. It's antithetical to the whole idea of the Sankirtan movement to say, it can't be done. I don't think it can be done. It's not up to you. It's up to Lord Chaitanya. Let him decide. Have Jaladuta consciousness. Doing something bold. Like, remember the moment Prabhupada stepped on the Jaladuta, you find your own Jaladuta and step on it. It could be a tiny little thing that you overcome picking up the telephone and calling that one person to offer a Bhagavad Gita. Or it could be writing down the goal and publishing it to your community. Whatever it may be, get on your Jaladuta. This is a mantra that you can keep going during the marathon and at all other times. How we do is more important than what we do. The numbers can always be bigger. It's not the point. You can always add more zeros, but the way we're doing this together, pleasing Lord Krishna by our cooperation is more important than the numbers we hit. We only have goals so we have something to shoot for, so we can continue to grow towards them. Have Katvanga consciousness. Maharaj Katvanga perfected himself within one moment. So sometimes you always say, I found out too late about this. I can't do anything. Not true. Be like Katvanga. If you find out about it a minute before the deadline, you can still do something. You can always do something. We always have recourse because we're independent living entities, and Lord Chaitanya is the supreme independent with all the power, so he can help us in 1 minute. So use every minute. Team goals are more important than individual accomplishments. The more we emphasize the success of the team over the individual, the more people participate and the faster we grow. Individual accomplishments will always be there and will always be recognized, but we don't need to overemphasize them. However, we do need to emphasize the team goals. We are working together. If you need any information, if you see any gaps, if you'd like to offer good suggestions or bad ones, write to info@bbtbooks.org, and we will consolidate that information and get it out to everybody in all the different languages around the world so that everyone can take advantage of it. We are counting down the minutes until the arrival of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami. And just after that, we are going to have His
Jayapataka Maharaj is here.
I offer my respectful obeisances to His Holiness Jayapataka Swami. We're deeply grateful for your appearance here today. And I hand over the stage to Maharaj.
Vanchakalpaduru. Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Sadnavadi Vastacha Desatarane Vakakalo Divachalam Panyavangatayam Yativatavan Vande Sri Om Vidadaram Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwar Hare Om Tat Sat. This is a very great opportunity to please Srila.
So this is a great opportunity to please Srila Prabhupada.
He wanted that we should give out the nectar of Krishna's teachings.
He wanted that we should give out the nectar of Krishna's teachings.
And we see that Lord Chaitanya also gave 3 orders.
And we know Lord Chaitanya also gave 3 orders.
Bolo Krishna,
Bolo Krishna,
chant Hare Krishna,
chant Hare Krishna,
Bhajo Krishna, serve and worship Lord Krishna,
Bhajo Krishna, serve and worship Lord Krishna,
Karo Krishna Shikha, read the teachings of Lord Krishna.
Koro Krishna Shikha, read the teachings of Lord Krishna.
So Gita is spoken by Krishna,
So Gita is spoken by Krishna,
and Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken about Krishna.
and Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken about Krishna.
So the service we can do is to give out these books, give out Gita and Bhagavatam to the conditioned souls.
So the service we can do is to give out these books, to give out this Gita and Bhagavatam to the conditioned souls.
Srimati Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur called the book distribution as the Brihat Mridanga.
Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur called this book distribution as Brihat Mridanga.
I have one family that bought one book and took it to their home.
I had one family, they bought one book and took it to their home.
And then that book was lying around, so the different members of the family read it.
And that book was just lying around, and some of the different members of the family read it.
6 people became devotees.
So 6 people became devotees.
Some of the devotees became temple presidents.
Some of the devotees became temple presidents.
One became a sannyasi.
One became a sannyasi.
They've done immense services,
They've done immense services,
all from one book.
all from one book.
So we cannot put any actual value on book distribution.
So we cannot put any actual value on book distribution.
It is a priceless contribution.
It is a priceless contribution.
Prabhupada had said books are the basis.
Prabhupada, he has said, books are the basis.
So I was very inspired by Vaisesika Prabhu's short video.
So I was very inspired by Vaisheshika Prabhu's short video.
I hope that all the members of the ISKCON congregation
I hope that all the members of the ISKCON congregation
will participate in this sacrifice
will participate in this sacrifice
of distributing the books of Prabhupada.
of distributing the books of Prabhupada.
This is a very special service,
So this is a very special service.
since the teachings of Krishna are not different from Krishna.
Since the teachings of Krishna are not different from Krishna,
By the people giving the Bhagavad Gita, giving the teachings of Krishna,
by the people getting the Bhagavad Gita, reading the teachings of Krishna,
they are blessed,
they are blessed,
and their whole family is blessed.
and their whole family is blessed.
Actually, I read in the Mahatma of the Srimad Bhagavatam
Actually, I read in the Mahatmya of the Srimad Bhagavatam
how someone keeps the Srimad Bhagavatam in their house,
how someone who keeps the Srimad Bhagavatam in their house,
that all the devas come and offer their obeisances.
that all the devas will come and offer their obeisances.
So if you want your house to become a place of pilgrimage
So if you want your house to become a place of pilgrimage
for the angels in heaven,
for the angels of the heaven,
for the demigods, then just keep all our books in your house.
or the demigods, so just keep Prabhupada's books at your house.
So this is a very wonderful opportunity we have
So this is a very wonderful opportunity we have
to work as a worldwide team
to work as a worldwide team
and try to distribute all our books.
and try to distribute Prabhupada's books.
I keep on my virtual table,
So I give out my virtual table,
and sometimes people take books from my table.
so sometimes people take books from my table.
I have a 24-hour table,
I have a 24 hours table,
which is possible virtually.
which is possible virtually.
I think that everybody, all the gurus and sannyasis, they should all keep a virtual table.
I think everybody, all the gurus and sannyasis, they all should keep a virtual table.
This way, we also distribute our books.
So in this way, we also can distribute Prabhupada's books.
But anyway, I'm a handicapped individual,
Anyway, I'm a handicapped individual,
but somehow I still distribute books
but somehow we are still distributing books
to the virtual table.
through the virtual table.
Anyway, it's a great opportunity, that everybody will participate in this Live to Give.
So anyway, this is a great opportunity and we hope everybody will participate in this will to give, in this
Live to Give.
in this leave to give.
Lord Chaitanya also said that Bharat Bhavika Manushya Janma Raja Yama Shakshak Kari Har.
Lord Chaitanya also says, Bharata Bhumite Manusya Janma Hoilo Jar, Jibon Shartak Kori Koro Para Upakar.
So sometimes you can translate that Bharat Bhavika meaning India,
Sometimes it would be we would translate that Bharat Bhumi means India,
or you can translate it as the whole world,
or you can translate it as the whole world,
because this planet was known as Bharat
because this planet was known as Bharat
at one time.
at one time.
So anyway, and we should perfect our lives
Anyway, we should perfect our lives
and help others.
and help others.
We should live to give.
We should live to give.
What's the greatest thing to give?
What is the greatest thing to give?
Than the teachings of Lord Krishna.
Greater than the teachings of Lord Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
What time?
8:26, Srila Guru Maharaj.
So, thank all the book distributors
I want to thank all the book distributors
around the world,
around the world,
all the devotees
all devotees
who are engaged in trying to distribute this message of Lord Chaitanya.
who are engaged in trying to distribute the message of Lord Chaitanya.
As our previous Acharya said,
As our previous acharyas say,
Pran Acharya Sahitu Prachar,
Jan Ache Jar Se Hetu Prachar.
who has spiritual life,
Who has spiritual life,
they engage in outreach.
they engage in outreach.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Young ladies, they only think about their own family, the hospitals, engaged in the baby you.
Even ladies, they only think about their family, but grihasthas, they are only living to give.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, thank you very much for casting your merciful glance upon this assembly today. I have no doubt that because of your presence and the words coming from your lotus mouth, that we will be successful. It is our main source of inspiration. You are a source of inspiration. If I may humbly request you to stay on just for a couple of minutes, I want to show you, Maharaj, the maps of the world, so you can look at it and get an idea of where we are positioned right now towards 2 million, reaching 2 million. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Why?
All right, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I deeply appreciate it. I'm going to share my.
Any videos or any material you have, I can send them on my social media.
If you have any videos or anything, you can send it to me. I can share it to my social media.
Thank you. That's very meaningful. We will send you everything that we produce. We have quite a few videos, and they're coming in from different places in the world still. So I'm sharing my screen now, and I'm going to show you the world map. Here we have what we're tracking towards the 2 million goal, starting, I'm showing you North America. So you can see that every center that we've contacted so far, or have contacted us, has made some pledge. Some places 250 Gitas, some places 50,000 Gitas from one center. And as I said before, the number, it has to be at least more than 0 and not less than 1 in order to move the energy. So the point is, a lot of devotees, each doing a little bit, will be very successful. Here's North America. So these will be publicly available for anyone to see, and we will be updating them in real time. The next is Europe. You can get an idea for the pledges that have come in. We see Russia over here on the right, Budapest, Prabhupada Bhavan, and then we get up here in London, Bhaktivedanta Manor, this cluster up here. Malaga, I don't know where that is, but it's down here at 108. This is one of the ways in which I said earlier, we're finding out where all the devotees are on the planet. This book distribution unites us. These are Europe pledges. We have Africa, whom we met with recently. The pledges are pouring in.
This from Italy or France.
I didn't see the pledges from Italy or France.
Let's see. So far, we're missing some. So partly to showing this map is revealing some of the gaps, and there's still enough time, according to Katvanga Maharaj, in order for anybody to join in and get on the map. But even last time, when you looked at the map, Maharaj, you noticed for Bhadra that South America was was not fully represented, and just by your comment, like where's South America? South America has been coming alive more and more. So here's sorry, we have here Africa and India.
Are you in class tonight after this in Nigeria? I'll tell them like the pledges.
I'll be giving class tonight in Nigeria, so I'll tell them to make their pledges.
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, if we can get more from India, especially South India, by your mercy, that would be a huge boon towards the overall goal. We have a feeling that there are a few parts of India that there are a few temples missing here and there, and anything you say or bring attention to will greatly increase our chances of surpassing the goal.
All right.
Okay.
I'll send out the message to my zone.
So I'll send out the message to my zones.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Then we have Far East. Pledges are coming in from the Far East, from various countries. We have Oceania. You'll see a lot of activity here from the various places. And looking at the world, I can tell you now in the aggregate that we still have, we're at about 1.15 million in pledges. We need to get to 2 million. So we need to coax out from the world the next, 0.86, about a million. We need about 1 million more Bhagavad Gitas to hit this goal. I think a lot of them can come from India and the rest of the world. If everyone does their level best, and everyone who's already pledged tries to increase a little bit, we can have a victory in ISKCON during this pandemic time, which will be a shot heard around the world. It will give us such a boost as a community, as a worldwide community, that it is worth going for. So please, everyone, if you are in an area where you know someone that's not pledged yet, please encourage them to get on the map. Thank you very much, Maharaj. I'll just ask if you have any more comments you'd like to make about the map or any suggestions you'd like to make before we move to His Holiness Indradyumna Swami's presentation.
I just sent all the, I think all the individuals have real social media presence, and I do.
I think like personalities like Indradyumna Swamis, they have bigger social media presence than I do.
Everyone can put up their advertisements on their social media.
If everyone can put up their advertisements on their social medias,
I give people to pledge.
I get people to pledge.
Get the people to pledge.
Get people to pledge.
I heard that in Salat and Bangladesh, they're planning to shoot 50,000 a year.
I heard that in Sylhet, Bangladesh, they're planning to distribute 50,000 Gitas.
I see they haven't been any plans.
But I see that there haven't been any plans.
I'm trying to get the people to pledge.
I'll try to get people there to pledge.
Thank you very much for this effort.
Thank you very much for this effort.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Thank you very much, Maharaj, we're deeply grateful for your association and for your guidance. And we will be reporting to you on a regular basis to let you know how we're progressing towards the 2 million goal. And now,
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
And now we have His Holiness Indradyumna Swami. Interestingly, we have his talk, which he pre-recorded, but we also have auspicious news that he's checked into the Zoom. I'm not sure if he has time. He had another program to attend to, but just knowing, Maharaj, that you may be on this Zoom call live has given a lot of devotees inspiration. I'm seeing a lot of comments coming into my personal box that they've noticed you're here. So if there's anything you want to say live before we show your video, we welcome you. Otherwise, we'll move ahead with the pre-recorded. Okay, please, Anukul Seva, if you'll show Maharaj's presentation for all of us.
Hare Krishna, dear Sankirtan devotees, spiritual warriors all over the world. Please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastrata Deshatarane. So, to begin with, I'd like to thank my very dear friend, Vaisheshika Prabhu, for requesting me to address all of you during this, your monumental effort to distribute 2 million books during this present Christmas Marathon, 2020. As I was contemplating what to say in this talk, I reflected that it's something comparable to the State of the Union address that every president of the United States gives once a year to the people of his country. In that address, he highlights the achievements of his government, addresses any serious problems facing the country, and sets out plans for how to address those problems during the upcoming year. So, of course, I don't hold any role in our movement comparable to a president, and I'm not addressing any particular population. But we do have our leader and founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, whose words ring true each year at this important time. He wrote to my godmother, respected Rameshwara Prabhu, in the early 1970s. My dear Rameshwara, I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated December 27, 1972, and with great happiness I have read your figures of amount of books sold during the 3-day period of December 22nd to the 24th, 1972. It is scarcely believable that more than 17,000 books could have been sold by one temple in 3 days. This indicates to me that people are at last becoming a little serious about this Krishna conscious movement in your country. Otherwise, why they should buy our books? But they can see that our boys and girls, devotees, are so much sincere and serious to distribute the message of Krishna consciousness. They are at once struck by seeing them. And therefore, they appreciate and they purchase. This is unique in the world. So I am so much pleased upon all of the boys and girls in Los Angeles and all over the world who are understanding and appreciating this unique quality of our transcendental literature. And voluntarily, they're going out to distribute despite all circumstances of difficulty. By this effort alone, they are assured to go back home, back to Godhead. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So this was, of course, Srila Prabhupada's response to the first ever Christmas marathon in 1972. And although it was written 48 years ago, the state of affairs that Srila Prabhupada outlined and the method he recommended to rectify the situation remain as real as ever. We're all aware of the general predictions for this age of Kali Yuga. Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto says, then, O king, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, and memory will all diminish day by day because of the powerful influence of the age of Kali. But as we all know, during these last 10 months, these last 2 months have proven especially challenging, isn't it? For every single person on this planet, regardless of what country they come from. I need not repeat the relentless news bulletins broadcasting the devastating effects of the present pandemic in terms of disease, death, and social and economic disruptions. Each and every one of us is feeling the effects in one way or the other. But if we can imagine a silver lining, it's a nice word, if we can imagine a silver lining in this ongoing tragic situation, what would it be? It would be, as Srila Prabhupada wrote to Rameshwar Prabhu, quote, that people are at last becoming a little serious about this Krishna conscious movement in your country. And I'm sure he meant all over the world. And we might ask, why would anyone become serious about Krishna consciousness, or essentially about spiritual life? And Krishna answers that question perfectly in Bhagavad Gita. Quote, O best among the Bharatas, Arjun, 4 kinds of pious men render devotional service unto me. The distressed, there you go, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. So it's interesting, Krishna lists distressed people as the first persons who turn to him, to God, in times of difficulty. People try so many remedial measures to relieve themselves of distress. But unfortunately, they don't know that there is a panacea for all distress. Now, panacea is a strong word. The dictionary definition of panacea is, quote, a solution or remedy for all difficulties or diseases. And the word panacea comes from a Greek word meaning all healing. Now, I recently read a famous modern philosopher who wrote as follows, quote, in Greek society, Panacea was the goddess of healing. In the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, people searched for substances like the elixir of life, which was supposed to give eternal life, and the famous philosopher's stone, which would turn ordinary metals into gold. They also tried to come up with a panacea, a solution for all problems. And he concludes, but no such elixir or philosopher's stone was ever found, just as no panacea for all of a society's difficulties was ever or will ever be found. Unfortunately, the people living at the end of the Middle Ages and the beginning of the Renaissance, essentially the 15th century, when Lord Chaitanya was actually present, he appeared in 1486. Because of his presence and the gifts he gave, people were unaware that a real and veritable panacea actually existed during their lifetimes and up until now and beyond, 10,000 years into the future. And what is that panacea for all distress, for all problems? Kaler dosha nidhe rajan astiyeku mahaguna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. Srimad Bhagavatam. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become freed from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. And that mantra, brought to earth by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we're all familiar with it. Very familiar with it. We are so fortunate. It took a unique form. That mantra took a unique form in and of itself at the end of the 20th century. And what was that form? Srila Prabhupada's books. How do we understand that his books are an expansion of the Maha Mantra? Because book distribution has been described as Brihat Mridanga. Brihat Mridanga. Because in the books, the glories of the holy name are described. How to chant, the benefits you get, inspires people to take up chanting Hare Krishna. Brihat Mridanga spreads the glories of chanting all over the world. And actually this term, Brihat Mridanga, it was invented by Srila Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. On June 11th, 1969, I was listening to a lecture recently, this lecture, Prabhupada said, quote, "My Guru Maharaj used to say that this press is Brihat Mridanga. Brihat means bigger, at large, bigger, Brihat Mridanga. Just like we are playing Mridanga. This Mridanga can be vibrated in the neighboring quarter, but our Mridanga, Back to Godhead magazine, that will go far, far away. So therefore, this press was considered by my Guru Maharaj as Brihat Mridanga, and he was very much fond of press," unquote. And I was reading that actually Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati used such a press from the very beginning of his mission. At that time he started with a weekly newspaper called the Gaudiya, and in time he was producing a daily newspaper called Nadia Prakash. And one day a very influential person in India at that time, his name was Madan Mohan Malaviya. He was the majority leader of India. He came to see Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And during that visit, he saw a copy of Nadia Prakash on a table, and he picked it up, and he saw it was a daily newspaper. And he said to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, "Sir, what is this? A daily religious newspaper? How is that possible?" So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he answered him as follows. And this is the actual quote. "In this mundane world, there are so many daily papers. We are told that in America, there are not only morning and evening papers, but newspapers published every hour. In Vaikuntha, there is 1,000 times more news than there is in this mundane world. So why is printing one daily paper about Vaikuntha a wonder? Thousands of daily papers about Vaikuntha may be continued. That much news comes from Vaikuntha. The news of Vaikuntha can overflood this mundane world. Overflood. Vaikuntha is infinite and this world is finite. When a ray from the infinite world comes to this finite world, just imagine what it can do." So he said the news of Vaikuntha can overflood this world. Now we understand that whatever a pure Brahmana, Vaishnava says, that will come to pass. For when a Brahmana gives a blessing or utters a curse, neither can be retracted. Their words are so powerful and blessed by the Lord. In a lecture on September 30th, 1968, Srila Prabhupada addressed this principle. Quote, "God's name is Satya Sankalpa. Satya Sankalpa means that whatever he thinks, immediately it is present. Not only God, but those who have attained yogic perfection. They cannot desire like God, but almost. Such a transcendentalist, if he desires something that, I want this, immediately it is there. That is called Satya Sankalpa." So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, He said, the news of Vaikuntha can overflood this world. That means it is possible. That means it is possible to distribute 2 million books in this marathon if we hang on to his lotus feet and Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. It's in the same vein that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his proclamation in Chaitanya Bhagavat, that in every town and village throughout the world, the chanting of my name will be heard. And those aren't the only predictions that will come to pass. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, in his writings, he also made a very beautiful proclamation. Tilaka Vimala Mala Nama Yukta Pavitraha Hari Hari Kali Madhye Evam Evam Babuvaha. It's one of my favorites. From the time that the holy name of Hari became manifest on the earth, Vaishnav folk appeared everywhere, adorned with beautiful tilak and neck beads and equipped with the Maha Mantra. In this manner, they became present in the very midst of the age of Kali, and they purified the atmosphere chanting Hari Hari. Please allow me to recite that again. From the time that the holy name of Hari became manifest on earth, Vaishnav folk appeared everywhere, adorned with beautiful tilak and neck beads and equipped with the Maha Mantra. In this manner, they became present in the very midst of the age of Kali, and they purified the atmosphere by chanting Hari Hari. So the amazing thing, dear Sankirtan devotees, Sankirtan warriors, is that all of you are now part of that prediction of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. You are the living proof of his prediction. You are the Vaishnav folk who are playing the Brihat Mridanga all over the world. What an honor, what a privilege, what a blessing. Every moment, every minute, every hour, every day, every week of this month is so relishable, such a privilege. No doubt your efforts to distribute books at this present time in history are not easy. Such efforts are fraught with penance and austerities. In some places it's too hot, other places it's too cold, or you may often be rejected when approaching people. Or, perhaps even more realistically now, you're faced with the stark reality of a lockdown due to the present pandemic. I was just reading this morning that the mayor of Los Angeles is requiring everyone to stay home for 3 or 4 weeks, again, except for essential affairs. Where are the people? and you have the austerity. You can't leave your house either, your apartment, to distribute books. So confined to your quarters, your only means of distribution is what they call cold calling, cold calls. You call people up on the phone. Or you call up friends or associates of your friends or friends of your friends of your friends. If you think about it, the present times offer the greatest challenge: how to distribute the most books ever in a marathon. The present times offer the greatest challenge: how to distribute the most books ever in a marathon, when traditional methods of book distribution have ceased to exist, at least for the time being. Even in ordinary times, it would be a challenge to distribute 2 million books. They say when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Can dovetail that. Maybe a better statement is, desperate times require desperate measures. And in this light, let's quote Srila Prabhupada: tax your brains how to distribute my books. And you're doing that now. You have so much good guidance, so many empowered Sankirtan leaders all over the world, and we have our beloved Vaisheshika Prabhu heading us up as the general. And how are you doing it? You're innovating. as time goes on, we have to innovate how to spread Krishna consciousness because the times change. So the means of innovation have to be there without compromising our tradition. It's an art. So you're all doing that now by using the internet and all other forms of social media. And that is brilliant. And what will be the result of this incredible yajna? Greater than many millions of ancient Aswamedha yajnas? Well, quite simply, people will come in contact with Prabhupada and Krishna. And what greater gift could there be during the Christmas season? When the motto is, in general, it's better to give than it is to receive. You're giving Prabhupada through his purports. And what is the benefit of having the association of Prabhupada? Beautiful verse in the 11th canto, 7th chapter, 44th verse, Bhagavatam. O king, a saintly person is just like water because he is free from all contamination, gentle by nature, and by speaking creates a beautiful vibration like that of flowing water. Just by seeing, touching, or hearing such a saintly person, the living entity is purified. Just as one is cleansed by contact with pure water. Thus a saintly person, just like a holy place, purifies all those who come in contact, who contact him, because he always chants the glories of the Lord. And by sharing Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna with the people of this world, your own lives become blessed, beyond your wildest imagination. And how so? Well, that was stated by Prabhupada in his Christmas marathon letter to Rameshwara. By this effort alone, they are assured to go back home, back to Godhead. So please, give this present marathon your all in all. In that regard, it's an opportunity to experience Atmanivedanam, or full surrender. As we know, there's 9 processes of devotional service: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandham, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, beginning with hearing and chanting. And we experience the first 8 quite simply through a normal morning program. But the 9th process, Atmanivedanam, or surrendering everything to Krishna, those opportunities may happen only in select times, such as a Christmas marathon when you're meant to give your all in all. And when you consider the goal of life, loving service to the divine couple, Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, such opportunities must be embraced wholeheartedly. And that is the advice of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In his purports to the Sri Chaitanya Shikshamrita, he writes, and I quote, "In the teachings of Sriman Mahaprabhu, there are only 2 principal instructions. Develop a taste for chanting the holy names and display compassion for the fallen souls." So all of you devotees, wherever you are in the world right now, if you're participating in this marathon, even in the smallest way, you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Because Sankirtan is all auspicious. It's not working under the modes of nature, like anything and everything in this world. By serving Srila Prabhupada's heart's desire, this wanting to give the people of this world Krishna consciousness through his books, to distribute these books all over the world, you are elevated to a transcendental position. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, by serving Prabhupada's order, you're fulfilling this verse in Bhagavad Gita. You're demonstrating it. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. As such, all of you will be blessed to experience many of what my god sister Yamuna Devi used to call magic moments. Every devotee knows what I'm talking about, a Sankirtan devotee. There's always those magic moments that just kind of transcend mundane reality, such as seeing a conditioned soul show a sincere interest in Krishna consciousness after lifetimes of forgetfulness, or seeing a person spend their hard-earned money on a priceless piece of transcendental knowledge, or hearing someone at the other end of the telephone who's lonely and desperate after months of lockdown find shelter in your association, in your words, the philosophy, an opportunity to purchase a book. So by sharing Krishna consciousness in these ways, all of you will experience the higher taste of devotional service. That's unique to sharing you'll experience that higher taste which nothing else in this world compares to, giving your good fortune to others. You'll truly be witness to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's words, as we heard earlier. When a ray from the infinite world comes to the finite world, just imagine what it can do. So you're going to see that. So the wonderful world of Krishna consciousness awaits you all. What wonderful things will you discover by participating in this glorious and first time ever attempt to distribute 2 million of Prabhupada's books? What you'll discover. Just like Sri Rupa Goswami in Utkalika Valari, text 66, he gives us this understanding how in Krishna consciousness we discover so many wonderful things. He writes, "O handsome, fragrant Tamal desire tree, blooming in Vrindavan forest, and embraced by the Madhavi vine of the goddess ruling this forest. O tree, the shade of whose glory protects the world from a host of burning sufferings. What wonderful fruits do the people find at your feet." So get out there or get on your phone or on the social media. Don't waste a moment. Finally, I want to take the opportunity to, again,
Haribol.
offer all of you, each and every one of you, spiritual warriors, my
Esta es
most
una reunión de los
humble
líderes.
obeisances for your wonderful efforts. It's a beautiful verse by one of my favorite Vaishnava poets, Devaki Nandana Das, from several hundred years ago. Shakala Vaishnava Pare Mora Namaskara Iti Kichu Aparada Nahuka Amara Hoyachen Hoiben Prabhur Jato Bhakta Vrinda Bandana Kori Shabara Charanara Vinda. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of all Vaishnavas, praying I may not commit offenses in my attempts to please them. To all Vaishnavas who have ever been, to all Vaishnavas who will ever be, I offer my obeisances to the lotus feet. Vaisheshika Prabhu, thank you once again. This is one of my favorite talks of the year. It really is. And I'm so proud of all these devotees, young and old, who are pleasing Srila Prabhupada so much. Prabhupada was so pleased by hearing 17,000 books distributed during the marathon in 1972. Imagine how pleased Srila Prabhupada is going to be when he hears that 2 million of his books have been distributed in the marathon, December Marathon 2020, and how he would reciprocate with all the participants, all the devotees in this movement, how the world will be blessed. So I've taken up my time. Thank you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Transcendental book distribution key, back home, back to Godhead key. Take all the fallen souls, all the fallen conditioned souls with us, every single one of them, back to Goloka Vrindavan. We'll present them to Srila Prabhupada, that master at whose feet all masters sit. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All the best.
Gaur Premanande Haribol. When I asked His Holiness Indradyumna Maharaj if he would like to speak, he said, "I thought you'd never ask," because he lives in the spiritual world even as he walks in this world, because he is in the state of Atma Nivedana to Lord Chaitanya as the surrendered soul leading the Sankirtan charge. What a brilliant talk. It's gone to our hearts. Actually, brilliant. And it's surcharged with the saffron particles that bring us closer to Lord Krishna's lotus feet. Thank you very, very much, Indradyumna Maharaj, for gracing us with your presence and your transcendental speech. It means everything to us. We now are going to hear from the various devotees in a few other regions who are helping to organize the worldwide campaign. First, I want to thank Ambarishi Maharaj for translating right now simultaneously into Russian, as we really need the unity with all the Russian-speaking countries in order to reach this goal of 2 million. And Ambarishi Maharaj is doing a Herculean effort to help the translation. Thank you so much, Maharaj, and thank you, all the Russian-speaking devotees, for being present. We'll need to milk the cow of Bharat, India, in order to reach our goal. Every center in India that can participate needs to participate for us to hit this goal of 2 million. So let's hear from Bhima Prabhu, the great leader who's centered in Juhu, Bombay, to come on and speak a few words of insight and information to us.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This is Sri Ram Das. We didn't, I think I'm not sure, Bhima Prabhu is there in the call. Mataji is a little sick, so he's taking care of her.
Okay, so we have Mahaman.
Mahaman Prabhu, if you're there in the call, I would like to welcome you. Like to hear from you. Can anybody make him co-host?
As Ambarish milked Mother Earth, we now ask you, Mahaman Prabhu, to please milk India for about 1 million more pledges. And while we're waiting for him, let's... Yes,
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna.
please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Can you hear me? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm really very honored to be on this call. And from our India side, at least in Indore, along with the devotees from Delhi, we are planning to do 10,000 Bhagavad Gitas plus Krishna books. As previous speakers have said, by great fortune that we come in contact with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. I was not expecting to speak, but I pray for the mercy of all the Vaishnavas that we are blessed to achieve our talk. Vasuki Prabhu has said very nicely, we have to set the goals and pray. This is the essence of it. To get this goals. Thank you. Over.
Thank you very much, Mahaman Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
The advocacy of senior devotees who simply make the statement, this is a good idea, please do this, is the vibration that encourages everybody. We all have divided attention, and when we hear the words empowering us from the senior devotees like Mahaman Prabhu, who's dedicated his life to the Sankirtan movement, we become energized. Thank you for making an appearance today. You voted with your feet, and by giving us these words, you've empowered us more. Sri Ram Prabhu will be letting me know if other leaders from India are checking in.
We have Sumitra Krishna Prabhu.
Please take a couple of minutes, Prabhu, and speak.
Yeah, I think he also slipped out. He was there in the call.
Now we have, so let me know when they come back. I would like to hear from Divyanam Prabhu. Divyanam Prabhu is situated in the UK, but he's helping to rally and facilitate devotees in Europe And you can give us some insight what's happening and also say what's working. Divyanand Prabhu, thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, my obeisances to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So just a quick update from Europe. Europe is also thriving at the moment as far as the Prabhupada Marathon is concerned and the Live to Give campaign. Everybody is really taking advantage of contact calling across UK and many other temples in Europe, including Germany, including Czech. So the contact calling has really picked up and people are using their phone and online to really make a big difference together. Here, particularly around Bhaktivedanta Manor, something which a nice concept which was launched called 108 devotees being enrolled into a program to connect with 10 more, each of these devotees connecting with 10 of their friends, bit like an Amway marketing, which is very famous in India when you're trying to enroll people trying to sell products. So we have adopted a similar strategy and it has worked very well. We've got nearly 50 devotees on board with it, and each one of them are contacting 10 of their friends and reporting back their successes on the contact calling session and otherwise actually. So that is really working well for us. The kids party is also coming out very nicely. We have launched a kids contest here. There is some early interest in that of Bhagavad Gita speech contest and also the drawing competition. So that's working well. Children are also doing many presentations now from home to home on Zoom and WebEx and sharing this project called Go Matsya, trying to spiritualize the society with the cause of Bhagavad Gita this time, which we were doing Bhagavatam in Bhadra. So that has also yielded to some success here in UK. One thing which has reignited for Europe and some parts of UK is the smart boxes. We got out our smart boxes back into the grocery stores, restaurants, and people are loving it. They're able to go back, put the Gitas back in the smart boxes, top it up, give the new calendar from the temple for next year to the people, give prasadam, and building that relationship is really helping. And one of our biggest launch or the success, I want to very briefly show you for literally 1 minute. Hopefully you can see my screen. Can somebody confirm if you're able to see my screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. So we've just launched last week, in fact, yesterday on the call with His Grace Radhe Shyam Prabhu, who very kindly gave us his audience to the UK and Europe Yatra. With his hands, we launched a well-being package here across Europe to the corporate world, especially targeted for Western audience alongside everybody else. Based on Bhagavad Gita, we are providing a 3-dimension care to the people in terms of, well, 4-dimension, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, where we are providing a course along with a pack of 4 books of Srila Prabhupada in a very contemporary way. These are the 4 books, and they get a meditation guide, and they get invited for a 3-hour course as a first timer to get to know and explore Bhagavad Gita more in detail and how it can help people. And we have done this through the launch of our beautiful website called Idea Seeds, and it has gone out very well. We've already started to receive orders. And the books are going like, you know how Guru Maharaj says, bunches like banana. We are selling 4 books together and also inviting people to take up a course with School of Bhakti, which is our partner here at Bhaktivedanta Manor. So this is very, very exciting. And we are really happy about this package because every devotee is talking about it to their businesses, to their corporate world. And there is a good reception out there. So I'm very hopeful this will yield in a lot of success for Europe market actually. So do visit our website to check it out. I'm going to share it in the chat box. And so those were some updates from us, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Divyanand Prabhu. This practical information that you're giving, and we'll hear from several more devotees, is very important. I have a special surprise, and that is that Indradumna Maharaj would like to just, actually, I would like to, I requested him if he would make a quick appearance live. His recorded remarks are there, but there's nothing that can equal just seeing him live on camera. And he came all the way back just to say a few words to us. Hare Krishna Maharaj. He's muted. Please unmute him. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Well, Hare Krishna again, everyone. Well, Again, I'd like to thank you, Vaisheshika Prabhu, for this opportunity and to thank you again for heading up this marathon. I know that you're very humble and you won't say that you're heading it up, but you are. And you have a lot of good generals under you. And I heard Prabhupada say one time, any program's only as good as the leader heading it up. So because you are who you are, and you have a good team working with you, and you really know how to milk the social media, I'm fairly confident that you will reach this goal of 2 million books. You're missing 1 million, but you are who you are, and your enthusiasm it's contagious. It really is, it's contagious. And I think that it's going to catch the whole movement on fire. And I'd like to say to the devotees that, of course, everyone has to play their part. And there's that saying, many hands make small work. So if we could get more devotees involved. When I was looking at the map, I saw some big blank spaces there. And we're a big family and we should all participate. And I think it would also be good that these programs could somehow, these particular program we're doing now could somehow be later translated for foreign countries. I mean, maybe you're doing that now, I don't know, but like for Russians and South American Spanish and in South Africa, Zulu. We have devotees all over the world and they need to see this program because I see this program as an expansion of Srila Prabhupada's heartbeat. This is his desire. So he will empower us all to do this. And it's just a little message before I go off, because I know there's a lot of speakers today. The formula is, there's no secret. Prabhupada gave that many, many years ago. He said that preaching is the essence, books are the basis, utility is the principle, and purity is the force. So, you know, we're all preaching. This is a great, it's a great, the way it's been organized is just fantastic. All those graphs and everything is fantastic. And we got the books and utility is the principle. That's the one I missed. Utility is the principle. We're utilizing the social media. So what we have to really work on is purity as the force. It's just like there's different types of wires that which electricity goes through, a conduit. Like you can have copper or you can have, I don't know what they use, but I know that the one that the message goes through the clearest is silver and gold. So in the same way, if our hearts are even slightly contaminated, the message or the impression we make on people, which is really what gets them to buy the book. They buy you rather than they're buying the book, really. All Sankirtan devotees know that. We have to cleanse our heart every day. Purity is the force. And the purer we are, the more Mahaprabhu and the previous acharyas and Srila Prabhupada, they can empower us to preach. So every morning, we have to have a really good morning program. And every Sankirtan devotee knows that. Because we've been told so many times, and because we know when we do it, we're fired up to preach all day long. And I think the best example I know, again, is Vaisheshika Prabhu. Everyone who knows him knows his morning program. It's like out of this world. He's so serious about chanting his rounds, about memorizing verses and, you know, reading even with a group of devotees and his prayers. Everything's there, and therefore he's qualified to be the leader. He is in that position. Prabhupada's put him in that position because he has that purity. So we have to imbibe that. And every day for the rest of this marathon, we have to really focus on our morning program, whatever it may be, in the temple or in our privacy of our homes or whatever it is, and work on that. And then, like Prabhupada said one time, he was chanting his rounds in Los Angeles and he finished his rounds and then he took his bead bag and he put it on the desk. He said, now I can do any damn thing I want. just indicating that first things first. Give your heart and soul to the Maha Mantra, read the Gita, read the Bhagavatam, say some prayers, respect Prasadam, and then dive into the marathon. And if we all do that together, that purity, that will actually flood the world with auspiciousness, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said. So thank you for this little opportunity to speak 2 times. And I wish all the devotees so much success. And it's just going to be so joyful. Yajna by Vishnu. Yajnas for Vishnu are auspicious and they're very joyful. So enjoy this marathon. Enjoy sharing your good fortune with others. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Mars, we're so satisfied. You gave us your heart in that video, which was unparalleled, in my opinion. And coming back to be with us live is just the fulfillment of all our wishes. Thank you very much. Knowing that you're watching in on this, it's going to pick us up and inspire us.
Well,
And by the way,
you know how much I love you. I'm your servant.
Kochira koso. Back to you, my heart. And by the way, I learned to chant japa by spending a little time with you in Govardhan. Otherwise, I was lost in this world. And I know you know that. And thank you very much for keeping me on your list. Hare Krishna. Srila Indradyumna Maharaj ki jai. Now we'd like to hear from, we have next, do we have anybody back from India right now? Sri Ram?
No, Prabhu.
Okay. So next I want to hear from Malini and Sri Krishna Purushottam, who have their finger on the pulse here in California, to give us some update. Malini, are you there? SKP, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All wish to Srila Prabhupada. We are fortunate that, in Bay Area, under the guidance of His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, we are continuing the calling parties, and most likely at this time of the year, we are targeting the realtors and the small business by calling them. And Malini Mataji, if you have that sticker, if you can show that on the screen. So the stickers we are making on their businesses' names and then putting on Bhagavad Gitas and distributing many Gitas, and people are giving cases together in order for us, and we are putting our ISKCON temple address and also the sticker on the Gitas. So that is working out very well, and also when we make the phone calls, they are referring to other people, like the referrals, and we are taking those referrals in the Facebook and also on other social media and calling the people. And some devotees are going out on the streets and with the social distances and distributing Bhagavad Gitas. This is also working well, even though it's a challenging time now with the lockdown. Still, some devotees are going out. So, and we have other marathon, like the devotees trying in different ways, different venues. As Vaisheshika Prabhu said, don't leave this pandemic, and we are taking this as an opportunity and distributing all the books. And also yesterday I received a call. He's from Nepal, and he listened to Srila Prabhupada lecture, and he wants a Hindi Bhagavatam set. And he's a cancer patient, and we are taking sponsorships for distribute books in prisons, in hospitals, in motels across the North America. So that is also working out well. So Malini Mataji, you want to add? Please go ahead, sir. Hare Krishna.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much. Please accept my humble obeisance, Krishna Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing everything. I just wanted to add one more thing is that during holidays, we have tried one more strategy is that we wanted to give gifts to our neighbors. So we actually made these very beautiful packs where we placed one Bhagavad Gita, some cookies, and a thank you note. And devotees could not go out because pandemic year. We have sheltered in place, so very restrictive. But they went and hang these gifts at the doors of all their neighbors, and we are seeing an outpouring of reciprocation from everybody. And some neighbors are giving return gifts for the gratitude they felt for these books, and some of them are giving oranges, some of them are writing thank you notes. In that way, just for the Thanksgiving, we tried and we distributed over 1,500 Bhagavad Gitas by like each devotee doing little bit. Everybody took one case of Bhagavad Gita, which is 24 books. And we plan to do the same thing for Christmas as well, because we could only cover a small area within our neighborhood, but we wanted to extend it more. So that's one more thing that I just want to add to whatever Sri Krishna Purushottam Prabhu just said.
Thank you very much, Sri Krishna Purushottam and Malini. Malini, go ahead. Did you have a concluding point you were going to make, Malini?
No, Guruji, we are just saying that we have only 4 more weeks left. So we can do a lot more in these 4 weeks. These last 4 weeks counts. So just wanted to emphasize that. Thank you so much.
I liked your points because it shows that innovation is the order of the day and that everything counts. A very nice innovation to go to the neighbors while we're locked down and personally give them gifts rendered 1,500 books. We have so many devotees who are following Lord Chaitanya all over the planet right now. And if everyone does some small innovation, then we will, as His Holiness Indrajit Maharaj said, we will make light work by combining everyone together. Also, I emphasize and re-emphasize the global team. We are one team together working towards a global goal of 2 million. Every single person's contribution counts. Every single Gita counts when we're working with millions of devotees all over the world. So please consider yourself significant and please do what you can. Make a goal that's not less than 1. And by doing that, you will be counted as part of this historic event. Also, please give your attention to World Gita Day. This is Gita Jayanti. It's a point in time where we can bring the awareness to the world of the importance of Bhagavad Gita. We'd like World Gita Day to be as or more famous than World Environment Day, Earth Day, and so forth. We need to bring attention to this. As His Holiness Indrajit Maharaj said, it is a panacea. And we have it. People are clamoring for vaccines and so forth, which is very necessary, but we have the vaccine that indemnifies one from birth and death. So let us take it as our prime cause to work together to make the Bhagavad Gita famous. We need everybody working together. So we're inching towards our goal, dear devotees. We've got just a little over 1 million in pledges from around the world. If everyone who's pledged does a little bit more, and those who haven't yet can put in their pledges, we will fill out the map in the next few weeks and be able to smash the 2 million Bhagavad Gita goal. And I encourage you all to take the words of our acharyas very seriously, that together we can do much more. And let's ask Sri Ram Prabhu, who's been instrumental in organizing this World Sankirtan, to say a few words to help us conclude this meeting this morning. Sri Ram Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Please extend my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. In India, it's the marathon is really catching up. I mean, the temples have started 2 weeks early, especially the WIDs, the west part of India. A lot of devotees are already doing a big. The contest in India was very successful last year, and this year also devotees are doing online contest. They're all also doing like Mahabharata. They're saying Mahabharata and distributing Bhagavad Gitas. Even they are doing Ramayana and cultural for kids. It's been very successful. And also the Shastradan is becoming very big. Everybody's open-minded nowadays to the pandemic, and everybody's giving a lot. Devotees are going to shop, businessmen are giving. Most of the temples have really been successful in Shastradan in the COVID situations. So there are more, lot of devotees on the streets, still with the safe measures. They're going out from Mayapur, from Juhu, all these temples, big temples, the Sankirtan buses are out. They're in the villages on the streets. So it's really doing much better than compared to last year. We are yet to get a few more temples, the figures, but so it'll happen in a couple of maybe this week. So especially the old Gita Day, what Gita Jayanti we call in Kurukshetra, the Indian Yatra is been very on top of this program. We are doing in Kurukshetra. It's a global campaign yajna, and as soon as Gopal Krishna Maharaj is kindly organizing this entire event, and this is really a tool which is helping Indian Yatra to participate, and all the global leaders also taking this yatra as a big thing. These are some of the things which is working, and also the Shastradan, the tribals and villages also been very successful in India so far. So we'll have more in coming weeks, bro. But so far, we got pledges from maybe 30% of temples only, but other temples will be yet to come back with their goals. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Sri Ram Prabhu. And here's our final look at the map. Take a look and see where there's gaps. We can fill in the gaps. The goal worldwide for our whole team, that includes everybody listening to this call now and who are listening to the recorded message afterwards. You're part of this. We're all one team, and we're going towards 2 million Bhagavad Gitas. And we're also going to celebrate Gita Jayanti as World Gita Day on December 25th. The marathon itself goes till January 7th. So go for it. Take a look. These are only a small fraction of communities reporting. If we were to see all of them report, this map would be covered. So there are gaps everywhere. Try to fill the gaps. Here's your look at Europe. We have a smattering only of pledges. Let's fill it in. Africa, we have a wide open space here. We could get 20 million Bhagavad Gitas from Africa with full participation. Here's India. Again, only 20%, 30% reporting or pledging. We need the other 70%. Far East, everyone, please, not less than 1. Something more than 0, please. We have Oceania. Where is South America? I don't see it on the map, but they're doing, they've pledged, they're doing well. That's an anomaly in this as far as I can tell. So we thank everybody for joining us here today. I'll end with a prayer. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you so desire, please repeat after me. I'll say, please repeat behind muted mics. Our dear Srila Prabhupada, our dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you so desire, please empower our global team so that we may please you by smashing the goal of distributing at least 2 million Bhagavad Gitas and expanding the Sankirtan movement in ways we've never seen before. Thank you for considering our request. Everyone who agrees with this prayer in part or in whole, please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare. Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Kalpatarubhishya Krishna Patitanam Holy Vaishnavini ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare
সুন্দর এসছে
Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Hare.
Hare Bol Hare Bol
Hare